Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I hope everyone is well and safe. My name is Giorgos, and today I'll be talking about Tide, our journey and experiences with Futurist, and how our partnership with LaunchDarkly has helped us scale the product and the teams globally. I'll start by introducing myself and Tide. Then I will tell you our story from the very beginning and the very early days of Tide, why eventually we moved to LaunchDarkly, how we're using it, and what is our roadmap for the near future. Finally, I will close this talk with the final thoughts. So let's start with introductions. My full name is Giorgos Ampavis, and I'm identifying as a technologist and a product engineer. I love building cool products and solving problems with technology. As servant leader, my role is to enable my teams and people to deliver the best products, and a dad, as I'm raising a 7-year-old boy to be a respectful human being. Here are a few stats about me. I'm 70% Athenian, of course, Greek too, as I was born and raised in Athens, Greece. However, I have lived in London, UK for 30% of my life, approximately, and so I feel like a Londoner too by now. I have been a software engineer and a technology leader for more than 16 years, and I have worked with a variety of companies of all shapes and sizes and in different roles. I'm currently VP of Engineering at Tide, and I'm leading the product teams, but I'm also accountable for the mobile and web engineering dojo. I have been with Tide with a bit more than 5 years, and I joined Tide very early. I was the 25th employee, and at that time, Tide was occupying just 2 desks at a co-working space in London. We are now more than 1,000 people distributed globally in many countries. I was also the 9th engineer, the 3rd in the mobile and web teams. Actually, there was no web team, and I was leading only iOS at the time. And we are now more than 80 people across mobile and web and more than 300 across engineering. But what about Tide? Tide is a business financial services platform, a B2B, and it was founded in late 2015. And throughout 2016, we're occupying few desks at a co-working space in Farringdon, London. We were working also with various remote vendors in Bulgaria for Android, Ukraine for iOS, and South Africa for backend. We launched the first product in January 2017 at the Apple Store. And soon after, we followed up with the Android release at the Google Play Store. 2017 we closed also the Series A the following summer, and we started building teams internally, slowly scaling them and establishing this way our first proper tech center in UK, London, UK. 2018, we entered the hypergrowth mode, and we started hiring permanent people also in Sofia, Bulgaria. 2019, we opened a second tech center globally, in Sofia, Bulgaria. And soon after, we closed Series B and we started scaling rapidly. 2020, just before the pandemic, we opened our third tech center, this time in India, Hyderabad. And we started hiring our first permanent employees there. And throughout the pandemic, we actually managed to build and scale the team across the whole tech organization. 2021, we officially entered the India market and we closed also Series C. And we continue rapid scaling, which literally never stopped since 2017. 2022 finds us continuing our rapid scaling journey, but also we are expanding the teams and the product across the globe. And why do we do all this? Tide is targeting micro, small, and medium businesses, and we're on a mission to help our members save time and money so they can focus on the things they love. And our vision is to become the world's leading business financial platform. We are currently operating in UK. We recently entered India, and we are planning to open to a few more countries in the next couple of years. In other words, we are scaling the business and the products, and we are expanding globally. So our journey with feature toggles starts really at the early days of Tide. And back then, we were only 10 to 12 engineers, less than 30 people total. At that time, releases weren't consistent. They didn't happen often. We were releasing whenever we had confidence and whenever we were ready. And this translated to multiple weeks, 6 to 8 on average. Our quality was really low. We had no real quality controls. Every release was followed up by usually multiple hot fixes. And there were a lot of bugs that were reaching our members in production. And the small team we had back then wasn't very happy when we had to release because that was a very stressful process for everyone. And I remember very well 2 incidents that played a key part in us realizing that we need to change our ways of delivering software. And the first one actually happened the day that I joined Tide. And it was a not so sunny April day in 2017. And we had just released a new iOS version in the Apple Store, which had a critical bug. And this was crashing the app upon startup, and everyone, including the CEO and the CTO, were panicking. And it took us a couple of days to fix it, test it, release it, and actually go back to business. And the second incident happened approximately 3-4 months later. And this is when we wanted to release a new product. And this product was implemented by a sole engineer. And this engineer worked in his own branch, long link branch. And unfortunately, he had never pulled from developing this 3-4 months. So the merge conflicts we had, we were impossible to resolve, obviously. And this is when one of our senior engineers threw the idea about using feature toggles. And this was my response, like, do you mean merging in complete code back in develop? Are you serious? And of course, he was dead serious. Then we talked a bit more. He elaborated more on the benefits. We talked about the risks, but also how to mitigate them. And then he finally convinced me. And in no time, we had implemented the first local feature toggle. By local, I mean it was stored on the device, not on a remote server. And this way we could hide very easily a simple feature by switching a toggle in the debug menu, And soon after we started improving them, we took them to the server, and we started utilizing across the org and the other teams. Within a few years, we had implemented basic feature toggle functionality like targeted releases, releasing to a small cohort of selected